Only recently, there were 2 routes that will allow you to enter the UK in order to establish a business. This has changed, and the UK government has merged these 2 routes into one, and this route is now called the Innovator Founder Route. As you will see from this video, the route has been significantly simplified. It became user-friendly. The eligibility requirements are easier to satisfy now. If after watching this video you believe that this route is not for you, you're very welcome to explore my other videos where I explain different types of UK work visas. In fact, this video is a part of the series of videos. I have created 5 videos where I explain 5 different categories of UK work visas. In my first video, I explain the UK work visa types which allow you to enter the UK without a job offer. Video number 2 is dedicated to explaining to the applicants how they can enter the UK if they have an overseas employer. Video number 3 is for the UK temporary work visa routes. This is video number 4, explaining how an applicant can apply under the Innovator Founder route in order to establish their own business here in the UK. And video number 5 covers all other routes that will allow the applicants to enter and work in the UK. Okay, now let us have a look at the UK worker visa routes which allow the applicants to start a business in the UK. Guys, in fact, there is only one route. Only recently they've cancelled the startup and the innovator route, or rather, should I say, they've combined the startup and the innovator route together into the innovator founder route. Although the innovator founder route has more features from the old innovator route as opposed to the startup route. So the Innovator Founder route replaced the 50,000 minimum funds requirements, and now the routes provides more flexible provisions for those with a genuine proposal for an innovative business and sufficient funds to deliver it. The changes also relaxed existing restrictions on the innovator migrants engaging in employment outside the running of this business. For those of you who are familiar with the old innovator route, you probably are aware that the secondary employment was not allowed. This is no longer the case, so all innovator founder applicants will be allowed to work in the UK as long as they can prove that this is their secondary employment and that they will be working in a skilled role. So the skills will be required at the level of RQF level 3, which is a level equivalent. You can apply under this route if you would like to set up and run an innovative business. This is the key element. First of all, you need to prove that your business is going to be innovative. So in other words, it must be different from anything else on the market. And also, quite importantly to note here that you cannot join a business that is already trading. Secondly, you will need to show an endorsement from a recognized body. If you'd like to know who can endorse the applicants under the Innovator Founder route, you're very welcome to head to my website, ukvisasuccess.com, where I have provided you with a number of links. In addition to this, you'll also need to show that your new business is viable and scalable. To prove that your business is viable, you will need to submit documentary evidence confirming that you have the necessary set of skills to materialize your ideas, and ideally that you have already successfully done so in the past, which can be proven by the way of your CV and also by the way of providing the decision maker with the records of your old business in your country of origin. The financial requirements is exactly the same as for the startup and innovator category. This is a B1 level, unless you are from the majority English speaking country or you have satisfied this English language requirement with your previous application. The initial leave will be granted for 3 years, and after that it is possible to apply for settlement provided you meet the requirements. And since the Innovator Founder route is one of very few, if not the only route which offers such an accelerated path to the ILR, I thought it's worth explaining the rules which would allow you to settle in the UK after 3 years. You can apply for indefinite leave to remain. In other words, you can settle in the UK under the Innovator Founder route only after 3 years. In addition to meeting the validity and the suitability requirements, validity is the procedure, the suitability in very simple terms is proving that you have good character. You need to meet only 3 eligibility requirements: the endorsement letter requirement, the continuous residence requirements, and knowledge of life in the UK requirement. So with your ILR application, you'll need to submit a letter from your endorsing body confirming the following 6 points. So first of all, that you have shown significant achievement judged against the business plan assessed in your previous endorsement. And therefore, it is really important, guys, when you're making your first application to submit a realistic plan so you can follow and deliver on it within the next 3 years. The second point, which has to be mentioned in this endorsement letter, is that your business is registered with the Companies House and you are listed as a director or a member of this business. Number 3, quite logical, that your business is still active and trading. Number 4, your business appears to be sustainable for at least the following 12 months based on the assets and expected income, which will be assessed against the current and planned expenses. The next point is that you have demonstrated an active key role in the day-to-day management and the development of your business. And therefore, if you are considering taking a secondary employment, please be very careful, because your secondary employment, even though lawfully permitted, it may affect your indefinite leave to remain application, because needless to say that the Home Office will expect the applicants to spend the majority of their time on day-to-day management of the business. The last point in the endorsement letter is that your business venture has met at least 2 of the following requirements. At least 50,000 has been invested into the business and actively spent furthering the business, or the number of the business customers has at least doubled within the last 3 years and it's currently higher than the mean number of the customers for other UK businesses offering comparable main product or services. Well, this one is probably going to be quite hard to assess and define. The next one is the business has engaged in significant research and development activity and has applied for intellectual property protection in the UK, or the business has generated a minimum annual gross revenue of at least 1 million in the last full year covered by its accounts, or the business is generating a minimum annual gross revenue of £500,000 in the last full year covered by its accounts, with at least £100,000 from exporting overseas, or the business has created the equivalent of at least 10 full-time jobs for settled workers, or the business has created the equivalent of at least 5 full-time jobs for settled workers, each of which has a mean salary of at least £25,000 gross per year, and that is excluding any allowances. It's important to note here that you cannot meet the above requirements by relying on the same criterion twice. For example, if you have invested £100,000, so that's 2 multiplied by 50,000 in your business venture, this would be considered as meeting only one criterion, not 2. Okay, so the next one is the continuous residence requirements. You should have continually resided in the UK for at least 3 years immediately before submitting your ILR application, and you should not be absent from the UK for more than 180 days in any consecutive 12 months period. The continuous residence will be broken if you were convicted of an offence and sentenced to a period of imprisonment or directed to be detained at an institution other than a prison. So if this applies, you will also be caught by the suitability requirements. The next one is that you are subject to a deportation order, exclusion order, or exclusion direction. And again, if you are, then your application will be rejected on suitability grounds. The next one is you are subject to removal. Again, you can find this bit in the suitability requirements, or your visa expired, unless you can rely on paragraph 39E. Guys, in case you don't know what paragraph 39E is, it allows the Home Office to disregard your period of staying of no more than 14 days, provided you can prove that you didn't submit your application on time for the circumstances which were beyond your or your legal representative control. For example, because you were admitted to the hospital and it was not a planned admission, and this prevented you from applying on time. And the final, very straightforward requirement, this is a knowledge of life in the UK. So you need to take the test. And by the way, even if you are from the majority English speaking country, you still need to take the test. This test is valid for life, and therefore please take it as soon as possible. And I strongly suggest that you buy the book, which will help you pass the test as soon as possible. And this was our Innovator Found the Route.